Okay, guys, I'm back. This is the Choosing a Base and Attack Strategy Guide 2. Making a quick video here. I've kind of looked through a few of these, and a base that you see a lot. Strings has a pretty typical style base here. We see these square bases a lot, and obviously they come in a lot of different forms. A lot of times they won't put these, bits of wall in the outside. A lot of times they'll just be open, so that way your troops will cruise through there. And defenses are strategically placed through to draw your giants around, so that way the defenses on the inside can help pick them off. This particular one now, he's kind of trumped his own base here because he's put in some of these walls, and I'm not sure why he's done that, because it probably drops the effectiveness of his base just a little bit. Now in his mind, I'm sure he figures that slows the enemy down. The problem is with these particular walls in here, that just means that the giants will break through this wall to come after this one, and will actually lead a path to the interior of his base just a little bit quicker. But that's okay. It's good for us. This is going to be an opponent of ours. So this is a little bit bigger base, and it's a bit more complex. And it is a little bit harder to take, obviously, than the last one. The nice thing about this particular base is you can see he's made it pretty easy. He's put some builder huts in the corners. And he still has lots of buildings on the outside. Now, he's done two things in favor of him and us. He's put these things at a good space. And the point of that is to slow the troops down, which it does. The problem is it also puts a lot of space between us and them. So that means that these are basically all free. You're going to be able to pick these off very, very nicely, because if you look at this archer tower, if you're placing, the only ones that you have to worry about is right in here. If you've got some archers right in this zone here, they're going to get picked off. But if you place one archer at all all three of these particular corners, and then you place an archer or two around this outside perimeter, you're going to find that these archers are going to pick these buildings off relatively quickly and relatively unobstructed. Now, being the fact that you're all the way out on this border and all the way out here, you don't really have to worry about, having this archer out here. You don't really have to worry too much about drawing those clan castle troops out either. And that's huge, because now you're going to be able to pick off all of this stuff, and you're going to be either at or very, very close to a 50% 1-star to start with. And you're only going to use a very minimal amount of archers. Now, as your archers pick these buildings off and they start to move, unfortunately, they're probably going to move into kill zone status, or even draw out the clan castle troops as they try to move in for another kill. So keep that in mind. Maybe keep this section right here for last, because like I said, as your archers move in, say this one pops, they're going to move in. They're going to move in closer, so they can take out one of these two or start to attack something within the base. And that's going to draw out the clan castle troops. Now, that's fine if you use that to your advantage. If you wait to do these last, or if you do them first to draw out the clan castle troops, and then you pick them off. But just know that the clan castle troops are going to cost you a few troops, and depending whatever's in there, you never really know what's in there. If there's a dragon in there, there's a good chance that you're going to lose quite a few troops trying to take that thing down. Unless you've got a small handbag, if you can throw down a few barbarians as dragon feed, and then pop down one or two wizzies to make pretty quick work of that dragon, that would work pretty well also. But so now that we've picked off the entire perimeter, and we're at or close to our 50%, and then it comes down to how are we going to attack the rest of this base. And ultimately, for me, I just kind of look to see what's going to give me the quickest, easiest path in. And for me, because this is Clan Wars, and I'm after the Town Hall at this point, I would either come in from up here, and so that way I've got a relatively quick line directly through, or the same but opposite over here. And it's kind of up to you. I would attack these Wizzies with my Giants, because again, the Giants aren't really affected as bad as other troops by the Wizards. So I would come headlong at these Wizards. And the this is a particular base, however, that you are definitely going to want some wall breakers. So my setup for attacking this Town Hall 7, again, would be, 8-10 Giants, 4 to 6 wall breakers, and then a nice hodgepodge of, like Wizards and Archers, maybe even a couple of Barbarians. You never know when those things come in handy. At Town Hall 7, you start getting the availability of a Barb King. If you have a Barb King, that's awesome, because you're going to want to use that guy. He's definitely a great asset to you. I would bring in the Giants. Again, the screen's moving around. I would bring in the Giants up through here, and then drop some wall breakers, and let the Giants in. And then I would drop the Barb King in right behind them. If you're lucky enough to at some point be able to rage your Barb King, he will make very, very quick work of the rest of this. Once you break through this outer wall, again, you send in more wall breakers immediately. Always send them in twos. Wall breakers are always sent in pairs. Now, this with the gold wall, sometimes, depending on what your wall breaker level is, you can take out this gold wall with one breaker. However, once you get into the crystal walls and up, it takes at least 2 generally to break through. So always send your breakers in pairs. Besides, a lot of times the breakers get picked off anyways. So don't just mass dump a bunch of them and hope that 1 or 2 of them make it. You don't want to waste your troops. Notice that this entire time I'm not talking about just spamming a ton of troops onto the board. I'm talking about very strategic placement and why and where to put them. But so the short and curlies, you get in here, the Giants are going to take this Wizard out, and then just know that they're going to wander down over here. Okay? They're going to, unless right away you broke through this wall, and then the Giants will come in here after this one. And then they will stay in here until they kill these, and then they'll come back for that Archer. So if you break through this wall, then quickly break through this wall, you're going to have some time to pick off the rest of these buildings in here. As soon as you get your Giants in here, by the way, and you've sent off your next invasion of wall breakers for this one, you should be laying down support troops back here, Archers and Wizards, and let them come in and do their work. They're going to fan out. They're going to take down this one right away. They're going to help make quicker work of the buildings through here. If you don't get through this particular wall right here, though, if your Giants do come over here, this cannon and this mortar are going to really pick at your troops. So make sure that your timing and your placement is good. Your timing and the placement on this particular attack is going to be everything. You could, for the sake of argument, try to come in from over here so you can pick off this one relatively quickly. But the problem is you're not going to be able to create a very good line for yourself. to get in here. This one's going to be a bit more crooked. You're going to kind of come in here, and you're going to enter from this wall piece or this wall piece, but then you've got to try to get over here somehow, and it won't do that. Your wall breakers are going to come right in for this one. You kind of see the problem. So unless you attack over here, and then your giants are going to have to come over to this one and over to this one, and then they're going to get more picked off. Giants are very susceptible to cannon fire and archer towers, where they are less susceptible to, say, wizards. So this is kind of why I picked coming in here versus over here. You do have to worry, however, that this particular mortar is going to be dropping here, and so is this one. But again, timing and placement. It should make very, very quick work. You release your giants. Right behind them, you drop 2 wall breakers. They'll pop this. Then you send in a handful of archers, drop a couple of wizards, send in 2 more wall breakers. They're going to come in and break this interior wall. If you have any more wall breakers, you send them in. Not that you need them to break this inside wall, because your archers and wizards should get up over that to get this town hall, so it's not that big of a deal. So, a good setup for this particular base would be 8 to 10 giants, 4 to 6 wall breakers, and the rest archers and wizards. Now, your wizards only really need to be, in the 4 to 8 range. You don't need a lot of wizards to do a lot of damage, but wizards really do need to be the last troop you put out there. They need to help assist giants and archers to really... wizards, they hit really hard, but as everybody knows, they tend to die quickly. So timing and placement, guys, timing and placement. More than anything, it's about learning how to look at a base and how to approach it and what troops to use. Again, now, with this one, as far as air defense goes, his air defense, again, isn't very high. And I have, especially because of YOLO, I have grown a new appreciation for the air attack. Not to say it's my favorite thing, but I have often overlooked it. And this base, again, has very little air defense. There's only a handful of things on this base that you really need to worry about. And they're very, very spread apart. If you came in on this top right side with a spam of, say, balloons or dragons, excuse me, you would make very, very quick work of the rest of this base. Because really, you only have the archer towers on the very corners to worry about, and then these very limited air defenses to worry about. And then somewhere in here, you get the wizard towers. You could, on the other hand, come in, approach from the bottom or the top right, but you're going to hit headlong into all of these right away, including this one. Again, it kind of comes down to opinion, guys. Some people say attack that stuff headlong and you're going to take your beating up front. But the problem is on the backside you're going to have this exact same front. And I just don't think that approaching it from the top or the bottom and then moving in this direction is going to be a very good idea. Because again, you're going to take the brunt up front, and then you're going to take this exact same brunt of force on the back side. I just don't feel like it's a good strategy. If I came in from this side, however, I'm able to pick them down in much smaller increments. And all in all, for me, I would come in from this top right or this bottom left and chew them down piece by piece that way. Again, that's just kind of my opinion. Everybody has their own form and strategy, but that's how it would go. So, and just like one last really quick tip, guys, boxes, assuming that they don't have these particular walls in here, those little divider walls, you see these you know, the box in a box a lot. In truth, I love box bases. They're so easy to attack. If you spread your troops between both corners, even spamming your troops, you can do really, really, really well. If you come in at the corners, it gives you a serious advantage because your breakers are going to target them, and then they're going to target the walls just inside. So if you can drop, you know, 1 or 2 breakers on this outside, and then release a couple more, and they're going to come in here. You know, you break these, drop in a few giants, and then send in some support troops on both sides at the same time. And then send in some archers, some wizards, drop some more breakers, and then they'll break through the next stage and the next stage. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing with these boxes. They are so easy to raid once you learn how to hit them. And you just hit them from opposite corners, and your guys will overwhelm this base. This base is intended to disrupt that a little bit because he's put all of these walls in here. And that's both an advantage and a disadvantage to him. Instead, same thing now, you just hit from opposite sides. You just do it in the middle. You can come in from one side if you want. You can come in from 2 sides if you want. But either way, boxes are boxes, and they make pretty easy work, to be honest with you, as long as you know how to attack them and how to assess them. Thanks, guys. This is the last of this video, and I'll make another one.